Alrighty, let's get into it. So positioning, same positioning you were saying, both matches. The worst one, there were just several times I couldn't counter what was coming at me, especially from the stringer. And when I tried to back at them, to try to get back at them, they still outdid me. So any advice on how I could have handled them better would help tons. Perfect. I'm not gonna lie, I fucking hate stringers with a passion. I would rather fight a team of full E-leaders on Hydra than a single stringer. So I get that. That shit sucks. The stringer would be like so much worse if it actually had what's the word? If it didn't leave the fucking projectiles on the ground, it'd be so much better. Oh my god. Okay, so let's start with the. I'm noticing on this one you're going 14-0. That's like crazy. That's really good as a Hydra. I mean, as your backline, anyways, you don't want to be dying. It seems you might have just been like out aggressed or something like that. They also have more paint than you do, right? Because you've spent charging, your rapid doesn't paint, and it doesn't have a bomb or a painting special. Your your big swig can kind of paint, but not a ton, and it doesn't seem like they're playing super well anyways. And while your decav can paint, they want to set up in a bubble and not really paint. Like Gal paints crazy, Knot's pretty good, Aerospray with 7 Booyahs paints like crazy, and the fact they had a cooler also just doesn't help. I had a game recently that I was reviewing with my coach, and they were just double coolered, and like we were just kind of outplayed by that, right? Here, let's see, they got a 10-1 stringer, so their stringer didn't die nearly enough. Like oh man, your 0-7 Aerospray. 6 Booyahs is pretty good though. We'll start with this one, and yeah, they just got a ton of paint, right? You've got 3 really slow weapons that can paint pretty well, but they have to get set up and properly paint, right? Like your paintbrush swings once every 10 fucking minutes. Your Flingza is a slow weapon and doesn't paint well with its horizontal, unlike your big swig does in this match here. And Aerospray just died a ton. They probably just, holy shit, never mind. Speaking of feeding, your paintbrush went 7 and 13. Zap is really good at painting. Dread's really good at painting. T-Tech is really decent paint. Like they just kind of outpainted you, I think, in this one, and that's really just, you know, all you can really do. But assuming your positioning's better, like it's gonna happen occasionally, but you just gotta play to the best of your ability. So let's get started with this guy and see what we can review. So I'm gonna start off in first person or third person view. Sorry, I'm gonna see where we're positioning, and then we'll pause and have a chat about where might be a better place to position. Nice, good partial charge. We don't need to be like full charging here right off the bat. That's awesome. Okay, so I like the positioning immediately, but if we'd better go like top grades behind the top mid there if we're gonna be pushing here. This isn't too bad of a position, but if you're going to be in this position where you're very easily going to be pushed from the right, because right now, like your guy died right, and they've got paint support top left, and if this Flingza dies, which is probably going to happen because Flingza isn't good in a fight, because their strongest attack, their vertical, takes I think like 1.5 seconds to charge up. It's crazy long. Standing here isn't as safe as standing on top of the block, like the top mid block, on your right now. Nice, your Flingza gets the kill, never mind. So from here, I'm just gonna go overhead. We'll go over top of the objective. Okay, what did we die from? Let's quickly take a peek and see what we died from. I think we just got sharked out by the, was that 52 or something? Oh no, Zap. So let's just, sorry, let me go back. I hate this fucking... Yeah, we just got killed by the zap. So if we're top right, or sorry, not top right, but if we're not on these grates, it's way harder for them to kill us, right? Because it's a 2v2 right now. But if our teammates got the opening 2 on us, then we could have moved forwards, especially because their stringer is currently dead, right? Like, you can take all of this space top mid. Sorry, let me just real quick swap to my desktop. Scorch zones, perfect, set background. Okay, so we have all of this. So generally, like, my very first positioning is either here or right here, depending on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to, like, if you know you've got aggressive weapons that are just going to try and push this way and push this way, it's kind of good to be set up right here. But if you don't have super aggressive weapons, like right now you've got a very supportive, painty team, right? And so you want to just kind of generally play support. Their stringer dies, like, I don't know, fucking here or something, and their zap gets traded. That's good trade from one of your teammates down here. So now that we know that their stringer's dead, now is the time that we can be taking this path to here, doing a charge behind this block, and then as we unleash our charge, I generally like to jump up onto this block and just kind of rain hell, because right now this is kind of our zone of terror, right? Hitting up to here and hitting up to here. Right now, since their stringer's dead, our positioning that we want to be working on is getting into a place where their stringer has to fight us out of it, and they're going to be pretty good at fighting us out of it, right? Like, there's not much we can do with the stupid projectiles that are going to be on the ground, but if we can instead take this top mid space, then, like, their stringer really has to fucking sit, like, right here in order to pick us off, or, like, back here. And that's not super great positioning for them, especially because we have what? Actually, we have no bombs. We've got a mine, we've got 2 sprinklers, and we've got a point sensor, right? So not even our teammate can really bomb them out of here. But, like, we want to push them into an unfavorable spot, so they either have to, like, you know, come into our zone of terror in order to fight us, or they have to be in a really shitty position that, like, our paintbrush can push under and then just hit over this ledge here and get the kill. So mostly the point that I was trying to get across originally is it's very, very dependent on what your team comp is, what your rollout should be. Generally, you should have like 2 to 3 rollouts per. Like I said, like, you can, there are really realistically 3 rollouts you can do on this map, right? Like, you can go here, you can go here, or you can go here. Or sorry, up here, I guess is where I was trying to go, this way. So if we've got an aggressive comp, then we want to be taking this fast space, especially if you're playing a more midliney kind of backline, like something like I've been playing a ton of V heavy lately, right? So I would take this position because I am a fast charging weapon, so I can fight anybody that's trying to poke me from under this grate, because they've got a T-Tech and a Dread that are both probably going to want to fight, because their Dread's, you know, kind of paint supportive, but that's mostly just their zap that's playing paint support. And, like, Dread would be really, really, really nice to fight this Vents guy that you should be, right? Let me just erase all this. Their Dread is going to be trying to sit here and, like, just kind of control this, because once you're here, there's really nothing much you can do but get killed. So you don't want to be taking this space until you have guaranteed space up until pretty much here, right? Like, if you have all of this space on the map, all of this back here, then that's totally fine. You come up here, you, like I said, you do a charge here, and then as you jump up here, you unleash it. I'll show you the tech for that. It's not really tech, it's just something that I do whenever I'm charging behind something that I can jump up on. That way, especially because their stringer's dead, we realistically have all of this space, because it's a T-Tech and a Dread. And their Dread is a slow fighter, but it's still a very decent fighting weapon, right? Especially when it's got the wave. Thankfully they didn't do a good wave, right? Like, they have this really, really shitty wave. I can't show my mouse cursor, but you see the wave right there, next to the remaining 100 on their side. It's not a very good wave, especially for, you know, them knowing that they have all of this left space control. I would generally be throwing it higher so it hits somewhere up near the grates, but thankfully they didn't throw a good wave, so it's not like you have to worry about them comboing with that with their weapon. Let us continue watching the VOD. Nice, good booyahing for your teammate. So I think that this pathing is a little bit slow. I understand wanting to like have paint up here or whatever, but generally this pathing is really, really slow. It's good to have that paint up there early, right? But usually just going straight to this block is like your retake position. If they're up your plat, like if they've come up your vents and they're up on your plat, then you absolutely always want to be taking this spot. And then once they're further into your base, you want to be taking this spot or this spot. But since all of them are currently down mid, right? They're currently down their dread, which was their back support facing weapon. I understand that they've got a lot of paint right here, but you'll notice from the paint patterns, the little splotches on the ground, the green splotches, those are from chumps, so they don't actually have real control up here. If you're going to be doing this slow pathing, what I'm hoping that will happen is we're going to paint over this, so we have a bubble, so we can push forwards and take aggressive space against their stringer. Preferably top mid. You can just run right across grates because you see that your aerospray is under your block here. You've got your Joseph, whoever the fuck that guy has just killed their dread. And so you have all of this left side space. If we take the time to take a slow path like this, we want to be doing something productive with it, like painting our plat here on our way back, because you're, what, 2/3 of the way to a bubble. So we can take that bubble and then we can put it up somewhere more aggressively. So you can take all of this space, right? You can just paint this in your color, and then you can head straight to this top mid position, throw a bubble like on the very edge over here, and then their stringer has to dedicate resources to throwing things at it. They have to shoot the top of your bubble. They have to, their T-Tech might bomb you from under, right? That sort of thing. So you want to be maybe getting into a more aggressive position so that way you can take out their stringer. It's not always going to be on you to take that space, but since you've got a player here and you've got a player here, like you can easily move up to at least this point here, and you can bubble from right here if you feel more comfortable doing that. I recommend like putting it on the back of the, oh my god, there's so much red on this, I'm so sorry. This is so sloppy. You can put it like right here. You can put it here. The only issue with putting it on this side is we don't have all of this space, right? And so we don't know if their zap is or their T-Tech is just going to shark us up and kill us in our bubble here. So it's just recommended you put it here or like on the edge of this grate here, so you can do the jump firing tech. Yep, nice, good wave dodge, or whale dodge. And now we're moving backwards for some reason. We're just kind of sitting here doing nothing, where we could be taking that top space. And we charge and then we wait. We're standing around doing a lot of nothing right now. Nice to kill. Okay, so I would have continued to fire at that T-Tech as he dropped down, because there are stringers on the opposite side of the map. We can see him over by Joseph and Violet over to our top left right now. And we should have killed that T-Tech while he was in the air, right? Like, sometimes you just miss, whatever, but you should be continuing to follow that up instead of looking left, because you've got two teammates on your left right now, so you should be spatially aware of the fact that their T-Tech is just going to continue trying to take that space behind them while your teammates are pushing their stringer. So we shouldn't be looking back over to our left. We should be looking back right and be trying to take out this T-Tech. At least give him some pressure. Paint in front of him, shoot over the block, and try and just paint in front of him. Just try and use this aggressive position you're on. We're focused on painting, and our our arrow spray dies, and you can see underneath his ouch, there's actually there's the green line of paint that their T-Tech just died to because you decided to abandon the fight, right? I had difficulty with this when I first started comp. I spent a lot of time with edit, specifically paint potting, and trying to just output as many coolers as I could instead of fighting with my teammates. And because of that, we weren't playing super cohesively as a unit. So their T-Tech just pushed under and killed our arrow spray for free. Like, this guy's our massive paint area denial guy, because he's got booyah, he's got shit tons of paint, he's got a sprinkler. There's a lot that he can do paint wise that we just took down 50% of his special, right? We don't want to be doing that. We want to be just trying to be more aggressive. Cool, we're in control. We can't over these strikes. No, okay. So you're doing a lot of charge canceling for some reason, right? I would have used that charge to fight either this zap you're looking at now or the two guys that are on your right you were just looking at. They're gonna chump us probably. Yeah, chumps underneath us. We kill that guy, nice. Cool. Heal if we can and go back up, go up this block. This block's so good for us. No, we're backing off. Fine, we got two people coming back. This is a good place to be. Oh, they're on our plat. That's fine. That's not like a ton of awareness there. I'm curious if you at all saw their zap. That's not what I want to do. I'm curious if you at all saw him or like had a clue that he might have been pushing up. Let's take a peek. Yes, okay. So you knew that this guy was on your right, your paintbrush that just died. He was up on your plat, and there's no way that he could have gotten around. So he was right here when you last saw him, right? Or sorry, he was like right here when you last saw him, and there's no way that in the second and a half that it took for you to stand here that he went down and immediately died plat. That probably didn't happen. You can just assume that your teammates are going to be playing well. Always just assume your teammates are going to be playing perfectly optimally, and you need to watch what they're doing and try and support them as best you can. I understand you're focused on the stringer, because you want to get them out of your way so you can take space, but it's important to pay attention to the fact that their zap just killed your paintbrush for free, right? Or not for free, right? You're focused on their stringer. Technically, your paint should have just won this fight. It's fine. It is what it is. Oop. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we died of the trap. Whatever. It is what it is. Okay. So there. Yeah. So realistically, when I'm being fired at there, I'm taking 60 damage and I'm just dropping immediately. Then X down A, just jumping the fuck out of there as soon as I drop down to that little corner beneath you. I'm not sure what your plan was, whether or not you were actually going to jump, but that's something you need to be cognizant of. Just whenever you're pressured and you can't really fight it, just get the hell out of there. That's the lead, that's okay. Two of our guys just died. What's our plan here? We should be just kind of... Yes, okay. This is your first time in half of the game that you got up onto this awesome spot. You're currently at about 10 damage from the ink, right? So you want to be painting, dropping. You just want to be like tap firing like your feet, dropping into it and insta healing, and then just doing like a partial to paint this platform here, because their stringer can do 90 damage to you without thinking about it. We see their T-Tech there. We see that their stringer is backed up a little bit behind back mid there, I'm assuming, judging by the velocity or the trajectory of those stringer bullets. Let's see what we do. Okay, we're standing in this ink a lot. You did just take like probably 25-30 damage just from this fucking this ink here. So we do want to be cognizant of sitting in the ink and healing, in our own ink, and just healing for a second. Like, paint this your color, because this is something you want to be standing on a lot, right? So you want this block right here your color. Don't focus on feet paint here, don't focus on like letting your feet be painted by your shooting forwards. Actively paint your feet. And we're still not healing, and we're dropping down for some reason. Nice, good kill. Siege is better. Yes, yes, that's the tech I'm talking about. And we drop down. So their stringer can't hit you unless they're hitting direct. So we shouldn't be dropping down here because his bullets will drop as well. And you'll just land on them and you'll take a free 90 damage. You'll take a free 60 damage, right? So you should have just backed up on the grate because his bullets pass right through that grate and they can't hit you unless he directs you. Okay, I was going to say we're taking very forward space, but I like this forward space from us. Except for the fact that, he just whaled us. Nice whale dodge. Don't focus on the jump, focus on the stringer. The jump isn't there yet. You kill the stringer, then you can flick over to the jump. Don't focus on the jump, focus on the stringer that's actively pressuring you, because that's your biggest threat in this situation. Not just because he's there. Like, if that was their T-Tech, then sure, you could focus on either or. I'd still recommend you focus on the guy that's actually there. But I understand that it's like, ooh, free kill, I like facing that jump, but realistically you don't want to. Especially since we should be looking at this to begin with, or we should be looking at like our map. We should recognize that one of their guys is running drop roller, and mind that is their stringer that's running drop roller. But we should be recognizing that, like, the jump isn't there, right? That's not a real player yet. It's not a real player for the next second and a half. We could use that second and a half pressuring their stringer to back the hell up. Because you didn't really achieve anything here, right? Like, we really should have been focusing the stringer. I gotta drink my monster now. I haven't been drinking this at all. So, like I said before, I guess the thing that, like, right now, the vents are our best fucking friend. Because they've got one guy jumping in. I think one of them is fighting Joseph right now, and the other one's off spawn. Yeah, you can see him dropping down there over there by the balloon. So we want to be on the vents right now, because our only real pressure on us right now is realistically just their stringer. Never mind, he gets both your guys. Do you see the dread below us? Yeah, see, like that. Don't drop down because you just drop right down into his bullets. That's exactly what I said would happen, and look at that. I was right. Woohoo, I love being right. Except for in this case, because, I obviously want to watch you improve. So, realistically, we, like, paint a little bit to our right. Just, like, paint this corner a bit. Sure, stroll it. Oh man, I didn't realize that they were so close. Yes, 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 let's go. W jump. Fuck your teammates. Who cares? Yes, jump the hell out. Yes. Oh my god, that was awesome. Perfect time to jump. Seriously, very, very proud of you for that. Good job. Okay, you see their zap. We should be charting. Okay, we didn't see the zap that much. One of the things that I had issues with when I was still like a low power, was even in Splatoon 2 when I first started and was like a turf war only god. I focused on my crosshair a lot, but when you're not actively shooting at something, you should be looking around. Use your peripherals more than your crosshair. Because if you're looking over to our left instead of at your crosshair right now, maybe you were just looking right or something like that. Well, we would have seen this app. At this point we should be recognizing they're under 20, right? And we should be just throwing a sprinkler and then getting as much of a charge as we can and trying to paint just what we can, right? We can bubble, sprinkler. We probably can't bubble and sprinkler. That'll take too much time. We should just be taking a charge and we should just be painting as much as we can because they're under 20. We want to just be trying to flip zone and just get those points back. Yes. Okay, cool. Dang. Well, I mean, it is what it is. Okay. So, overall, I really like that game from you position-wise. Obviously, there's a bit of time. There's some times where it's like, okay, well, looking back, I can see that we're in this position, so we should be, or sorry, like the game is at this stage, so we should be in this position instead of this one. But that's lots of little micro decisions. I like the macro. I like the fact we're staying up more than down. That's really, really good. I'm a very, very, very big fan of the improvement there. It's mostly just looking in the right areas and focusing on specifically, you know, like, I was going to say something and then I got distracted. Ignore the X power. I only play tower, okay? I'm a tower fiend. Zones, Scorch. I actually want to be first changing my weapon. Okay, so the map is very dependent on, like how we're playing this is very dependent on what our map control looks like, because Scorch is a very, very big zone, right? It's fucking enormous. It's second biggest, I think, from aside from Eeltail. So immediately our rollout should be coming down here like this, or just coming along here and just kind of painting up here and then dropping and going here. I like doing a little bit of paint here just because it allows us to roll out faster up this way, because I'm in high ranks and they will push aggressively as soon as we're 2 down, right? So I like having this space so I can take this space without having to worry too much about painting or revealing my position immediately. When we're up here, we want to be focusing on like being able to remain as mobile as we can, and in order to do that, we need to have this control. You're spending a lot of time standing in enemy ink here, and then charging up while you're in that enemy ink, taking the full 48 damage you take from ink damage, and then firing and like hoping that the couple of droplets that hit your feet while you're firing will paint your feet enough. You want to be remaining at full health, especially with a comp like that can just bomb you out. They had auto bomb from Zap, they had T-Tech bomb. Their stringer can just throw a toxic mist at you, and then you'll be slowed, and you'll be super slow because you'll be in their ink. And then their Dread D can't really do anything except, you know, like ledge poke you up here. But focusing on keeping your area painted keeps you mobile, right? Especially if you're only running 1 or 2 subs of ink resistance. Hydra's is a heavyweight weapon, so it doesn't move very well. So you want to be remaining as mobile as you can, in theory. The jump tech stuff, I saw you do it in the middle of the game, but like literally just doing something like this is generally what I do. Then I'll go back down, or I'll like take this position here, and I will go here and then do this, right? Because look at this, look at the zone of terror. You effectively have, like when you're right here, you effectively have this much area to work with. You have all of mid. This mid area is now yours. Throw a sprinkler like somewhere stupidly cringe. Like, okay, I don't know if you can actually reach that one yet. Yeah, you throw sprinkler just generally on their fucking plat up here. And then you have that control, and you've got pretty much all of their front plant. You can just look for drops, right? Obviously, the stringer is going to bully you out of this position. And I noticed that we're doing this a lot. Or we don't necessarily want to be doing that, right? Their stringer bullets are just going to pass right through this. So instead of just going, oh, okay, well, I need to drop down, you can instead just go, oh, okay, well, their stringer's firing at me. He has to hit me directly. He has to be very, very good with aim now in order to hit me. So those were the main takeaways. Just keep your feet painted. Be careful of, like, know where you're safe to push up to. Because you're dangerous, especially with Torrent's Hydra, once you can get set up. Right? Because you have this awesome fuck you, get the hell out of my space button, which is your right stick. You can only be doing this bubble when you have this front space. Once you're on, you know, their take or whatever, once your teammates are pushing crates here, then you can do that. But you generally only want to be doing that bubble here, because otherwise their T-Tech can just, you know, come under here and just kill you through your bubble. Because it's just annoying to get sharked out like that. So when I was like, okay, we're taking a lot of forward space here, or sorry, we want to be taking forward space, but we noticed that 2 of our teammates died to a guy right here. We obviously don't want to be bubbling here. We should be bubbling somewhere more like here, or even here, right? Somewhat, technically, like depending on the comp you're facing, a bubble right here can be really nice because you can just kind of sit here and just do your thing. There was the time here that we're sitting right here and like this is painted and we just kind of threw a sprinkler and then kind of did nothing with it. Totally fine, whatever. What I would be doing in that position is I'm just doing this, right? And then I'm going to charge up another full charge, and I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to fire off with their stringer. Their stringer like to be positioned here a lot, so I'll be doing something like that. I'll be trying to like fall off behind this block, that sort of thing. And realistically, your paintbrush should just be here, like just, you know, sending ink over this, because they're really good at fall off. It's just lots of like little macro stuff, or micro stuff at this point, right? Like you got the macro down, we're generally positioning well, it's just where we're positioning specifically in the tide of the game is important. Let's go take a peek at that second thing. Sorry, it bothers the shit out of me that I have these fucking, there we go. These should be on my head. So now let's see this 14-0 game, because you're a fucking beast. Now what I want to do, I want to press view replays. Okay. Let's take a peek at this guy. The 10-star gal is a scary fucking proposition. Yeah, cool. We want to just be following their rapid up. Yes! Yes! Perfect! This is what I want from you. This immediate position is just take this right here, throw our sprinkler to mid, and we're just fucking chilling. Even hell, if you want to keep your feet painted, you can look directly up and put a sprinkler underneath that little rusty thing in front of you. Like the bowl you can like zipcaster into. You can just put a sprinkler up there, and it'll just keep your feet painted. Okay, and then we drop down to the left. I guess we're going to go fight with our, what is that, our decav? Yeah, it is. Our decav drops. Okay, they're Aerospray Booyah selfishly. But we're marked, and, like, realistically, the Aerospray is going to recognize we're trying to take this brick, and they're just going to booyah on top of it. Right, we're marked, they can see exactly where we are through this wall. Nice, good kill from your decav. I would prefer if we're on the grate to your left instead of peeking right. We should be peeking left onto that grate, So that way we can peek around where your clocked guy is, because that way you can paint for him. And nice, good team kill. Nice, good kill. I would be bubbling more forwards here. I understand that it's once again just a very panic button-y thing for you, but realistically, we have. I think they just got wiped out, didn't they? I'm pretty sure they just got I'm pretty sure we just wiped them out, and so realistically, we can just like, especially because you got the kill on that dynamo, you don't need to bubble right here. We can bubble like here, even here is fine. Like, just recognize that like right here, a bubble is really, really, really strong. Right, because it gives us this whole zone of terror. This is our space now. And they're going to be scared to push up, because what the hell are they going to do? The gal and the arrow spray can't really reach you. The gal might wall, whatever. The knot can rain forwards, I guess. Like, if they get a rain off spawn or something like that. In case they're coolered. I don't know if their dynamo has gotten a cooler yet. But those are technically options, but they can't really do anything with this, right? They can't really do anything about that bubble without dropping down into one of your teammates that are going to be standing here or pushing this. Like, realistically, we want to be getting like super aggressive now, because we just wiped them out, and we want to take as much space as they're going to give us. You don't want to be pushing up here, because your teammates are going to do that. You want to be remaining generally mid, so you can watch this right flank, because their gal and their knot are probably going to try and push this, get aggressive, and come behind you and just, you know, screw you up, fuck up your day. Nice, good kill on their booyah. Nice, good kill on their gal. They're knots there. What are we going to do about it? We're just going to push them out. Nice. Booyah. Should be looking... Yeah. We don't need to back up here. There's no reason to back up. And once again, there you're dropping your charge a lot. And you didn't really need to drop your charge there. Once again, just a bad booyah. They're dropping left. Do we see that? No, we don't. So, if you didn't drop there, you wouldn't have to jump out. You could have instead just taken... You shouldn't have dropped down and then jumped out. You should have just backed up. Right? Because now you're giving up all this space, even though you're only one down and your swig has splashed down. So your swig is going to just shark out and play aggressively, so they can splash down this whole area. So you just want to be sitting here so you can just generally support and just remain a threat. Because right now, we're not really a threat. We've got a weapon that can't paint, and we've got a splashdown. And splashdown's arguably one of the worst specials in the game when, you know, you're at a higher level and they're just going to kill your swig through it. So you shouldn't have just dropped and jumped out. We should have just dropped charge and then... Oh, damn, I didn't mean to do that. You should have just dropped charge and then just backed up. Because with enough run speed, you can just run across these crates with no charge and you're chilling. I think that I screwed that up a bit. Sorry about that. There we go. Fixed it. So yeah, so just... I know that I harped a ton on like jump the fuck out when you're under pressure, but there we put ourselves into a position that we were under pressure in. Let's continue watching the VOD. Let's see what else we can do. So whatever, realistically here, yeah, our rapid dies because we didn't back up. We probably could have supported him left, and they would have had a more fighting chance. Our try splashdown should be coming out while he's top mid. It's not, he's just sharking it. And the mighty dies. And for it. One thing I'm noticing is it's very flip-floppy this game. You started up top, and then you just drop your charge and went immediately down left, and then you try to run across grates, and then you know, your team got the opening kill because you fought with, or you didn't really fight with, but you pressured with your mint, and that was really good. That was really, really smart decision making on your part. But there is lots of flip-flopping I'm noticing here. You went left, and then you're backing up, and then you're going right. We should be painting up this wall, and we should be going up We didn't really need to destroy that wall. That only doesn't really help our teammates. Nice. One up top. It's their arrow spray. He's gonna have a booyah again soon because he's got like a fuck ton of special up. Yeah, he's got 3 mains of special up. We saw one bottom right. Nice. Oh, thank God you're decav. Okay, I did notice that. I saw him splash down to our right, and I was even looking at their dynamo you were just fighting, but I did see him splash, or I saw him like shoot down into the ink to your bottom left there. And yeah, so we see the guy die down there. So we see him there. So we know that he's down there. You're not charging up. You're not shooting at anything right now. So you should just be looking around, because currently you don't even have a crosshair, right? You don't have a crosshair to look at. You should be looking at the map, or not the map, sorry, but you should be looking at your HUD. You should be looking down to your bottom right. You should see the guy dropping by their balloon in their spawn. You should see I think that's just a sprinkler droplet. You should see the swimming down there on your bottom left behind that wall. The gal backs up, and we're focused there. And now we can see him. And I was looking directly at your dynamo, and I saw him drop into the ink, and I saw his little paint trail there. So, you know, that's just one of the things you should be cognizant of, is like, when you're fighting with a teammate, you don't necessarily need to be looking at your crosshair. If your crosshair placement is good enough, if your controller placement and your instinct is good enough, you don't need to be looking directly at your crosshair to help pressure. With a teammate, you can be looking elsewhere, especially once you see this 52, sorry, down to our bottom right. I thought it was the knot, so it's a good thing that it was just the 52, but I would have flicked down and right? Just a little micro thing, doesn't actually matter. I'm not expecting you to see every enemy like you've got fucking thermal ink or some shit, but like, you know, you do want to be a little more aware. And thank God he whiffs, and our dynamo has our back. We're chilling, and just another panic button. Alt. I recognize you panic button because you got shot at from your bottom right. So it's a good panic button in this case, but this isn't a good panic button position, because you'll notice that your rebel goes into the ground. So their 52 can just walk right into your bubble and then shoot directly up, and it'll hit you. Nice, we kill double bubble here. Whatever. So we should be recognizing that they don't have any bombs, like, at all. So we're safe to just push our rebels. Like, we don't have to stick inside our bubble. They don't have a bomb that's gonna hit our wall and kill us instantly. We should be pushing forwards, taking top mid right now. Especially once they're 4 down and wiped out. How fast do we move forwards? Realistically, we could have saved that bubble until about 10 seconds from now, and then bubbled directly where you are right now. We're dropping mid. We shouldn't have dropped mid. We should have stayed on grates. Nice, good trade from our decaf, but we should have been up here and been able to fight that with our decaf to begin with. Nice, good kill on the knot. Cool, we heal up. Now we're really far backwards, like, or not really far back from our teammates, but like, realistically, we could have passed through that rain and then just bubbled up on grates, and we would have been mostly fine. This is also a really good bubble spot, but if we're going to be bubbling this far right, we might as well go onto those blocks onto our right, and be bubbling up there, right? Like, instead of bubbling right here, you could be standing on this very top block right here, and you could be bubbling there instead. And it's just generally a better one. Technically, they're 52 because your bubble will stretch down onto this ground. Their 52 can go into this corner and shoot up at you. But if you're, charged, then you generally shouldn't be worried about that. They do have Tacticooler, and most people just take a Tacticooler as an excuse to make a dumb decision. So there is the option that their 52 is going to try and push that and just try and get the kill. But this isn't a bad bubble spot in this position, right? Because it allows you to maintain pressure right while your teammates push left. Nice, good kills. We know their dynamo's on that wall. Thank God that guy is terrible. Okay, so we get the tag on the 52 and we should be continuing to fight at that 52. We have, you know, our big swig can paint. Our big swig can paint for us. We want to be fighting with, if we continue shooting at that 52, Agent 5 doesn't die there. We're being, okay, so this positioning is really, really passive when they're 2 down, or 3 down, or whatever that was. Because you just killed their dynamo, we saw their aerospray die, and their 52 die. Aerospray bottom left, do we see him? Yes, we do. .52 just dropped on us. He's going to be coming up this wall. Never mind, he's terrible and decided to fight our big swig instead. Yep, aerospace still there, he got traded out. Okay, we dropped here. We don't necessarily need to be dropping, and this is also bad positioning from us because their dynamo can hit us over that wall. No need to jump out. Their dynamo just dropped. And just go up that wall and then back roll onto the grates. And then do a charge and just shoot at their dynamo or shoot at their gal, which is on the left right now. Yep, I like this charge from us. That's a really good fight for us to win. That's a really good fight for us to win. I'm sure bubbling instead of healing is perfectly fine here. That's 3 down. We should be moving forward and taking space. Their 52 has a whale, but that's really it. Yep. Nice, good kill. They probably have a jump bottom right there. Yeah, they do have a jump bottom right. They're not. You see their aerospray bottom left. Yep, he's fired his armor. We can throw up that booyah, that's good. We don't need to be backing all the way up there. We can back up to the edge of that grate and we'll still be out of the booyah. They've got a cooler they just cycled. So realistically, we shouldn't be fighting, we shouldn't be shooting at that wall. We should be aiming upwards a bit and backing up and shooting over the wall. Yeah, all good, whatever. Lots of, like, just inconsistent decision making as well as not very fast decision making. So there's lots of times where you're flip-flopping between the two positions. Oh really? I can't see touch you from the back, damn. Oh, okay. So, general notes from this session. So our immediate decision making this game was to come up here. I was like, yes, yes, yes. And then we drop charge and we go down here for some reason. You know, your mint won the fight down here, and it's a mint, like he's got the easiest weapon in the game. You can realistically assume that he's going to win this fight down here. So all you have to do is come up here, and your mint will be about here by the time you're about half charge, and then you'll be full charge, he'll drop down, and you can just paint this area for him. And then it's all this free space your mint can just go take. There was a time that I noticed that we didn't do that jump, by the way. I don't know if you're aware you can even do that jump, but you can like squid jump across or scroll jump across if you want to. But there was a time that we were bubbled up here, or whatever it was. Yeah, it was the time we're bubbled right there. And I said, well, we can either bubble there or there. This is still a good bubble, don't get me wrong. But they're 3 down, I'm like, okay, let's move forward. So what do? This. Which isn't nearly as fast, and being fast matters in high-level Splatoon. So here, we're not being particularly quick, where we did the slow way across, and then we I don't even think we came across here. I'm pretty sure that we stayed about here. And when we're 3 up, or sorry, they're 3 down, or the wipeout happens, or even hell, if we're 2 down, we want to at least be here. Right, so that way you can, shoot around here, you can paint all this front area, do whatever you want to, and then we can move over here, double right here, and we're in our happy spot. We're a fucking movable force right now. Because, I mean, realistically, you can even shoot into there. Platt's tower area. Right, like there's really nothing they can do, because we can just drop fire down and we're hitting all of this spot right here. Like there's nothing that they can do once we're here. But we were 3 down, and you took the slow path, and then they were back 2, and I think their aerospray was there, and they're like not, or whatever was up here, when we were still back here. So I understand backlining is a complex role, because you need to know when to be able to push up, and when to move back. Still tons and tons and tons of this, where we should be doing something like that, right? Where we do this, and then we back roll up, and we come up here, and instead of just doing this, which, I mean, I recognize that was me. I didn't say that, yes, we should be jumping out a lot more than we are, but it's also very realistically, it's very, what's the word for it? Situational, right? Like, we didn't need to back all the way up for this booyah that was like down here. We could have stayed right here and we would have been totally safe. We could have charged up. And like, since you've got a crosshair, you can just kind of take a quick gander down into where the booyah is, and it'll turn into an X, even through paint, even through something like that, if someone's in your line of fire. So we can just do a quick scan of this, make sure no one's in it. And then once their booyah's down, because their aerospray was like right down here, I believe. Once they're just going to try and swim back up. But if once we know they're here, or sorry, they're not here, we take this space back, and we just, we want to continue moving forwards. There's lots of dropping your charge, right? Like I said, our immediate rollout was this, right? It was something like this, or sorry, this is what I would have done, right? I think we just sprinkler down here or whatever. I don't even know if we did sprinkler. You were like, 3/4 of the way up to a charge, and you made the decision to come down this way instead. Which, I'm not certain why. I would have from this position, because you can fire out the other side of the zone from here, right? Like you can see, I'm painting the other side of the zone. So if your teammates are going to be down here, your mint's probably going to try and paint, generally this area. I think your big swig that was pushing down this way, or your rapid, or whatever it was, it pushed down this way. But you can just fire at the back of their zone back here, and then you're chilling. But I liked the positioning. I liked that. Don't get me wrong. I do like that as soon as we're touching the ground here, we're jumping out. Right? That's really, really good. It's smart decision making from us on this part. But it was lots of just little micro things, decision making, positioning based on that decision making, and that was what seemed to sell us the game, was just not knowing when specifically to move forwards, when we can move backwards instead of just doing this and jumping out. Because it was the time that you dropped here, and we had this wall painted, right? So it wouldn't have cost you anything to just do this, and then back up, run away, no charge, and then charge up once you're back here. But it's just lots of little things like that we now need to work on. Focus on, I think for our next one, I want you to focus on specifically maintaining an area that you're in, right? Like, you're a Hydra. You have this, you have your big-ass main weapon, you've got a bubble, so you're really good at just getting set up and being immovable. I like that game where we don't die. That was really, really good, even though you lost it, like, realistically, you make like 2 game-changing decisions there, where you jumped out where you technically shouldn't have jumped out immediately, and we probably could have fought with the guy that was down here and won this fight, or at the very least like partialed and just kind of painted. And we might have won that fight, and that might have changed the tide of the game. So it is just a couple of like tiny little things like that. Focus on maintaining game knowledge, right? Knowing when to push up, when to push back, when to like jump out fully, when to specifically where to put bubbles. Because there was that time that the 52 was there and we just kind of panic button specialed. I think here, and you'll notice that their 52 can just do this, and he can just come and jump fire you. So it's just lots of little decision making like that. Like I said, I did like the fact you jumped out a bunch. Even technically there were a couple places you shouldn't have, whatever. You jumped out, you stayed alive, right? And that's an important part because you can play retake. Sure, you're real good on retake because you charge up from up there and you get all of your plat back, pretty much. You charge up from up there and you get all your plat back. So just focus on making a decision and sticking with it instead of being indecisive. Focus on, maintaining your position, and even if it's the wrong decision, like just stick with it. See what happens. Limit test a little bit. See what you can get away with. Overall though, like genuinely good positioning on your part. There were a couple of times that like technically you're not in the optimal position, but you're in a high ground, and that's where it fucking begins. So, very good job. Very proud of you. Keep up the good work, dude. Fuck yeah.